Darren, we'll start by talking about your new signing, Harry Buteman.
Yeah, I've had him watched and I've watched him myself. He gives a little bit more energy. He's got a really good goal scoring record. I think he'll be a good signing for us. I think he gives us a lot more energy in midfield.
Seems like he got kicked all over the park in his last game for Welling, though.
Yeah, I believe it's gone on YouTube or something. But no, I like him. When I seen him, we were aware of him and went to watch him. And it's difficult to assess players, and no disrespect, sometimes at the level, and sometimes the games are not great. But I've seen enough, and he came in for a couple of days, and he can look after the ball, and he's got a fantastic engine, up and down, and it's effortless for him, and that was the main thing. And also the fact that I know the level's different, but when he's got that timing into the box, he's a natural goal scorer from midfield. I think that was the key point that I think we're probably lacking a little bit.
He said he's sort of been playing in the hole this season, but he's a box-to-box midfielder, so you can use him in a variety of different ways.
Well, that's the other thing. He can play in different formations. He can play in different roles, which is always, I feel, important when I sign players. And I think it'll be a good one for us. Good lad as well.
Does he come straight into your thinking for Friday?
He'll be in the squad. He'll be in the squad for Friday. No question about that.
Do you expect any other business to be done ahead of the deadline?
I wouldn't have thought so. I think we've got till tomorrow, haven't we? I wouldn't have thought that anything. You never know, but I wouldn't have. In the moment, I would say it's doubtful at the moment.
Can I just ask you about Joe Day? What's the latest with him in Newport?
Joe Day will be coming back to us. He'll be back. His loan expired. I think it's yesterday. I think it was. So he would be back with us. He's actually going to be back with us tomorrow.
And back with you for the foreseeable
future? Well, he'll be back now because obviously his loan is expired, so he can't go back out again until January. So he'll be back with us until then, and then we'll look at it again. But I have to say, Joe's done excellent at Newport, done really, really well. And I think there was the talk of them trying to do something permanently, but it just didn't come through. So we're delighted to have him back.
Just talk about injuries. Am I right in thinking Jack had an operation or is having one today, this week?
Jack Baldwin's having his operation today. So we had to wait because we wanted the swelling to go down, and on instructions of the specialist, he said the longer you wait, the actual recovery at the other end will be better and it'll be not as long. So he'll still obviously be out for a long, long time, but fingers crossed. We wished him all the best yesterday, and he goes down there and gets the operation and everything's fine. Obviously
Madison and I assume this is again too soon for Madison. I know I ask you every week, but just to check.
Well, Taylor's obviously out. Yeah. You mentioned him. Madison's got, I said Saturday, a slim chance. Probably got more than a slim chance now, but still. The thing about Marcus is he's obviously not done much for a month now, so I would still probably go towards a slim chance.
And that's it, isn't it? No fresh ones.
No one's got injured this week, though. Touch wood.
So on to Friday, obviously because of recent results, it was a big game anyway, but it just makes that a little bit bigger.
I think it is a big game, and obviously be on the television, and also because of recent results. But in saying that, if you win the game, you're all of a sudden 6 points off the top. That's how we're approaching it. No other way. We think that's a positive way of approaching the game. We've seen teams drop points in this league all through the season, us being one of them, and we know that 1 point in 5 games is nowhere near good enough. So it could be a really good game. It could be a good turning point to play against the team at the top. And as I said, you win the game, and all of a sudden the league and everything else would look a lot brighter because you're only 6 points off the top. So that's how we're going to approach it.
Do you think it's important as well to maybe win back some of those fans who are perhaps just starting to lose maybe a little bit of confidence? I suppose when you've sort of gone on the run that you have gone on, people do start to lose a little bit, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's natural that players, fans, everyone can lose a degree of confidence because that's just human nature that happens. And we've spoke about that actually on Monday morning with the players, and some of the fans are getting frustrated. But at the end of the day, it is clearly a results-based business, and you can understand they'll be asking questions, quite rightly. There's no question about that. You can't get away from that. It's a results-based business. We haven't been getting results, so you have to take that with the territory it comes with, and we accept that. And it's up to us to to put a performance and hopefully get the right result and get them back on side. Not all of them, but there is one or two getting frustrated. I do feel, and I said after the game, with a new stand opening, I think the fans were great. They're really desperate for us to win, and we hope that they stick with us. And you know what? The good thing where I can come from with this is we've been there before. We've been there before, you know, and over the many years I've been here, we've never. It's not always been rosy in all the success we've had. I remember the season, obviously, when the biggest one was when we lost the first 7 games in the championship, and we in any other season would have turned it round. So we've been here before. We can hopefully go back and use that as an experience. But there's no question we need the right result on Friday night.
This week, as well as obviously preparing the team, have you spoken to the chairman? Have you had that chat?
Yes, we've had a good chat. I spoke to him on Saturday night as normal.
Did you just sweep that under the carpet then? I mean, were you quite frustrated with what came out obviously before the press conference?
I said after the game Saturday, and I remain, whatever is said between the chairman and whatever I say to the chairman will remain private, and always will do.
Talking about the game then, is there the temptation to maybe mix things up, make a couple of changes? Obviously you said you might be able to play in a new sort of formation if you've got Harry involved.
Yeah, I think I'm saying Harry can play in different formations, but no, there's the option of obviously chucking Harry straight in. There's the option. There's different options I have got available to me in terms of changing the personnel. We know that, and that's something that obviously I can do.
Obviously, I know that you know the players better than anyone else. You see them sort of day in, day out in training. Someone who's sort of been limited to appearances from the bench so far is Erhan. Does he start to work his way into your thinking as he perhaps gains that fitness? Obviously, it was a big move up for him.
It's been a really big move up for the boy. I had a good chat with him this morning. His injury didn't help, and that was from day one, really. I mean, not day one literally, but you know, we were away in Portugal at the time, and he got his injury, and he's had to play catch up since. But no, he's very much in my thoughts. I think Erwin's been really unlucky actually in terms of we've chopped and changed because of the injuries. Formations, personnel have chopped and changed. I think the way I wanted to play in certain games probably didn't suit him, as he would agree, and I think he's just been a little bit unfortunate. He just has to be patient, not get frustrated. I've not lost any belief in the boy whatsoever from the day he arrived. He's a good player, but he is in my thoughts. He's just got to be patient, the boy, you know.
Yeah. What would you say if you were to sort of take one main positive, one main thing to improve on from the last 5 games? Looking at both sides of it, what would you maybe highlight?
Win. Simple.
Yeah.
Got to win. So it's a big game. We've got to win on Friday if we can, and we've got to be better in certain areas of the pitch. The players know that, and we've spoken about that and worked on it. But it's a simple case of, you know, you want the performance, you want what I would call a Peterborough United performance at home, and really get after them. But you've got to look after the ball, and that's important. It's always going to be the same when I send my team out to play. You've got to look after the ball, and it's a big game on Friday because I think it could be a good turning point. I think you've got to stick to the fact, and it is a fact, that if you win the game, you're 6 points off the top of the table. And although we've had a bad run, I think there's others. I mean, all of a sudden Bristol have lost 3 in the bounce if you were to beat them. Preston have lost 3 in the bounce. Those teams will go through that run. There's certainly not, for me, and I think most would agree, that there's not a Wolves or Brentford this season. So I think you've got opportunities to stick in there, you know, and I think it's going to be a tight league, but we're fully aware that we need the right result on Friday.
Yeah, what do you make of Bristol City? Obviously a storming start to the season, but they're actually only 1 point clear. They've lost the last 2, so it shows how tight it can be.
Yeah, I think it is a tight league. I think if you looked at the league and assessed it, the one that have got the games in hand, Milton Keynes, you would say we probably started the best. But no, they're a strong team. You would expect them to be strong. Listen, they've got the budget and the crowds to do that. But Steve's done a good job since he went in there, and we know it's going to be a real test for us.
And they've brought in well over the summer, haven't they? Of course, and they've just got that good balance to their team at the minute.
Yeah, they've recruited very well. You know, Wilbraham, Agard's a partnership. Smith, boy from Oldham's a good midfielder. Mark Little, we know all about. You know, Ayling. They've recruited well, as I would expect Bristol City to do. But they're definitely unbeatable. There's no question that's been shown in the last 2 games.